Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the second video on the Forward Outdoors YouTube channel, and as promised, this is a tabletop review kind of thing here going on. So it'll be on my sturgeon rod, my setup, rod, reel, line, etc., rigs, how I like to fish it really. So here we go, let's get into it. First, we'll start with rod. Okuma Shililo, 7 foot, 30 to 80 pound, or in their parts number if you want to call it that, CEC 701XH. It's a great rod, all around great rod really. You can use it for halibut and tuna and sturgeon, so it's got a nice and sensitive tip while having backbone, so super strong. Great graphite design. I love this product. Okuma makes a good product. On here we have an Okuma Convector. This is the CV30L. CV30L means level winds and the size of the reel. So I'm going to be upgrading hopefully here pretty soon. Not 100% sure. I might get an Ugly Stick Tiger and give this to my dad. So we'll see. Kind of depends on how that goes. I think I'm going to end up buying an Ugly Stick Tiger, so that'll be a 30 to 60 model. They're a great rod too. And he's really been wanting an Okuma Shililo, so I think that's what's going to happen. Anyways, on the rod, or the reel, we have 65 pound tough line. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of tough line for this kind of fishing, just because it can float. It cuts through the water, but it can also float. So they're better for salmon steelhead fishing, when you got your 10 plus foot rod and your drift fishing. But it works. It's great. I prefer Power Pro, and I want to run 80, probably 80. 65 is what I have on here, because we can catch a lot of smaller ones and bigger ones, Kind of just depends on how you play them. But yeah, it's only complaint I really have about this reel is its drag system is alright, but it doesn't take that much to stop the reel. So, when you're looking at it here, put your hand on it here, and you can stop it. That's what I really don't like, so I'm going to end up getting a new reel, and probably rod, and let my dad have this one. I think he'd be pretty happy with that. Next is the rig. So, coming all the way down here to the rig. First, we started off with the little slider. Here, let's change this around. Here we've got this little slider. So this just holds my weight. We have a bead to protect the knot. And then on here we have some people call it a clinch knot. Some people call it a palomino knot. It's a great knot. It works. It's better for braid. Here we just have, the normal fisherman's knot, spin knot. Heard it be called all kinds of things, but I just call it the normal fisherman's knot because pretty much everybody uses it. We have about a 2 foot leader, 1.5 2 feet leader, and it's 80 pound Dacron. 80 pound Dacron is, well, for leaders it's better. You want Dacron because it's thicker, so it's strong, super strong, but it's not going to mess up the fish too bad. And if this were to get hooked on a scoot, it's going to be a lot harder to cut on their scoots, which is those little things running down the sturgeon, those sharp things, than this stuff. This stuff, when it gets wrapped around, it can get cut pretty easy by the scoots. The Dacron, not so much because it's thicker. The hook is a 6/0 hook, barbless hook. I don't know about where you live, but here, and pretty sure everywhere else, you have to have barbless hooks for sturgeon. So, it's a great hook. I prefer 7/0. It's a little bit bigger, especially when you're squid fishing, which is my bait of choice. So we'll get into that now. A lot of people use pickled herring, roll mop, just anything really, any type of fish. They all work. So I just prefer sturgeon. It's really tough. It is a tougher, depending on how you rig it, it's tougher. You can catch, 3 sturgeon on that versus 1 sturgeon on your roll mop, which roll mop is tough too, so I don't know. But I prefer the bigger hook for that because I hook right above the squid. So you got your squid right here. You hook right above his eyeballs. His eyeballs will be right here. And then you come through that and hook into between his eyeballs. That just helps it hold on really good. So then your squid will sit like this, and then you just put half hitches all the way up, just to hold them on there, and keep them straight. Otherwise, he'll get all tangled up, and then your squid will be just dangling on your hook, and no, that's not good. So, yeah, that's just how I bait it. How I fish this is, we usually fish from anywhere to 60 feet to 100 plus, depending on where we go. Great. This particular rig is good for that. You can use it pretty much anywhere. This is a boat rod, because it's pretty short, 7-footer. Back there, there's half of the 11-footer. That would be a bank rod, because you need to be able to cast it out there really far, like a surf rod. If you've ever been to the ocean and see people fishing from the beach, they'll usually have a super long rod, like 11-footer, surf rod. But the sturgeon rod, the difference is a lot stronger than most of the surf rods. Granted, there is a lot of surf rods that are made for sharks and whatnot, so they get pretty strong. However, so this is a great rig setup, and just how I fish it. And so I hope it helped educate you, I guess, if you already didn't know. And thank you guys so much for watching. This is the second video on the Forward Outdoors YouTube channel. I am pretty excited for that. It's hopefully going to go great. Thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.